Okay, I'm super upset because I just filmed a whole like 10 minutes and none of it got saved. But in my final video, I'm speaking about what I've learned in this book so far. I just finished up some like another few chapters, and I'm gonna speed run through this because I already filmed it and it went to trash. So for the first few chapters, let me look at this really quickly. So for chapter 1 of Problems and Pain, that's what it's called. It basically is just like trying to say that like it's okay that life is hard. It's better to embrace it than to act like it's going to be easy. Let me zoom out. Oh, that's all the way zoomed out. But basically talking about how like it's okay that life is hard. Like it's better to embrace it and to accept it than not. That if it'll make it a lot easier by accepting this is hard. It's not supposed to be easy. I have to work through this. And I mean that's like a brief summary of what that is. For delaying gratification is basically speaking about how you can make your day-to-day life easier. It made an example with some type of business analyst of some lady. She was basically killing herself over work, and not literally, but like it was draining her a lot. That like she'd get to work, the first hour or two would be good, and that after that it was hard. And he's basically saying if you delay gratification, like if you instead make the hard hours in the beginning and then the better ones later in the night, that the day will go by so much quicker. Your job will get, you'll enjoy your job more because like let's say it's 5 p.m. you have 2 hours left. It's better to have been sloppy those first 5, not literally sloppy, but like to have had a more tired mindset those first 5. So those last 2 they really speed by like nothing. So to delay gratification, to instead of going in like, okay, it's going to be easy 8 hours, to know it's going to be a hard 5, and then the last 2 are going to be super dope. Just like I said, just an example. The sins of the father speaks about so much about how like the lack of your discipline as a father or mother can really affect your children's, because if you make commitments and promises to your children and they see that you're not owning up to them, that they start to think that's normal, and then it'll start to affect them once they grow up. So there's just so much in parenting that I'm learning now, like even as an uncle, that I didn't realize through my nieces and nephews I can be a better uncle. But it's so cool how you can do that. I mean, so cool how it mentions things as a parent that you wouldn't think of. So basically the sins of the father. After that we have problem solving in time. Which one was this? This was about problem solving in time. What page is? Oh, that's 20. So that was today. So problem solving in time, basically saying how like most issues to a problem start because you don't take your time. You don't accept that it's your issue. You don't accept that it's your problem to solve, and that when you do, you usually just go into it trying to speed through it, and it is what it is. It's above me. When that's not the case. How the author, he said when he was 37 and he was some type of mechanic, that he was never able to fix anything. That one day he saw his neighbor fixing his lawnmower. He's like, man, I wish I could do that. The guy was like, you could if you only took your time. That sentence stuck with him forever. That the next issue he had at his mechanic shop, he took his time, accepted it was his problem, got comfortable, took his time, and he was able to fix what the issue was. So it was so cool how if all you do is just accept it's your problem, get comfortable instead of trying to rush through it, that's so much more you can fix, that there's so much more that you can fix and learn in this world, instead of just going, oh, I tried, it's beyond me. After that was yes, a key note that I wrote down for that was discipline is to be emotionally stable enough to face problems head on. Up next was responsibility. I wrote this quote down that he mentioned in his books. It's super simple but super effective. It just says, this is my problem and it is up to me to solve it. Something simple and basic, but speaks volumes. That one is just, it starts to dive into something that is called let me find it. It's basically starts to dive into neurosis and character disorders, speaking about how there's specific people with these disorders that most people that not that there's these people with these disorders, and that the difference between the two is well, it explains what they are in this chapter. It explains a man who well, a man and a woman. It explains a bunch of different people who blame the world for their problems and don't accept it, and that's why it beats them up so much in the long run. That they blame everybody but themselves, and that's just a disorder that most times and not you can't help them because they choose not to be helped. They don't change the fact that it is their fault. They just continue to blame everybody but themselves, and it dives into it a little bit, but then the next chapter to really like gets into what the definition of it is and examples of it. And okay, this is where I stopped. So that one, like I said, was about character disorders. I don't really feel like I spoke about the responsibility one much. And I guess that's really it. Wow, what the heck is the responsibility one? That's about the man, and then about the girl. Yeah, but speaking how like that like dives into children as well, from a young age. So this is really about like there's a lot of parenting in this book too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the last one. Well, that's basically it. It's about neurosis and character disorders. And character disorders are people. Well, no, neurotic people are the ones who take blame for everything. Character disordered people are the ones who don't, who blame everybody but themselves. And that's when I felt like I related a bit in certain situations. I know, and it also spoke about how you can be both in certain situations. And I think I've been there before, where I've blamed others that before me, and where I've also blamed myself for things that aren't my issue. So it was cool to see how I matched into this book as well, super early on. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm a few chapters in. With the neurotic disorders, that one speaks about yeah, neurotic is blaming everybody. No, neurotic is blaming yourself. Character disorders is blaming everybody else. And it speaks about how with having neurotic, how you can still have a lot of problems, because with neurotic disorders, you can cause yourself more stress because you blame yourself for problems that aren't yours. As for neurotic people, they no matter what blame everybody but themselves, and that's why it's so hard to help them, because a lot of the times when they see these psychiatric people, they choose not to be helped, and they choose to continue to blame everybody but themselves, and sometimes you just can't help them. But that's where I'm at. I'm loving this thing. I'm going to learn so much when I'm done with it, and I'm so excited to read so many more. The sticky notes definitely helped me out so much. I don't want to highlight inside of it because I want these things to be in pristine condition for when I have my loft apartment and I'm able to stack them somewhere where they're so nicely and organized and they're just almost brand new, and where one day I can pass them on to somebody. So I'd rather not highlight inside of them and instead use these sticky notes. But I almost want to read this all the time, but I think I learn the most when I'm able to read it out loud and slowly, is where I'm able to actually process what's happening in the book instead of just reading. Because I can just read and not know what the heck happened, especially if I read fast. So I have to read slow and in a more quiet space to be able to know like what's going on in here. But that was this. I'm a few chapters in. Today is now, damn, it's already 1. Fuck, I gotta go to bed. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to bed now.